Hi, Joan Stallard from Code Pink, D.C. We've been holding AIPAC protests outside AIPAC for a few years now. The purpose of doing this is to modify the voice of AIPAC to the extent that we're able. AIPAC is a hugely powerful lobbying organization. They have deep pockets, and the statistics are that their voice does actually influence the way that Congresspeople and senators propose legislation and vote on legislation. Their AIPAC has a huge annual meeting in D.C., invites Congresspeople and administrative individuals, and they come. And Netanyahu would be speaking there this year again. Perez is speaking, I believe, and there will be Nancy Pelosi speaking, and in the audience will be hundreds of Congresspeople. They get introduced individually. Their names are read out. And you would, as you see them walking in, they're progressive type of Congresspeople, uncomfortable, but they go in because they know there's literally a fallout if they don't. They become targets for losing their seats in Congress if they don't see things AIPAC's way. So bottom line is it puts us in danger. Those of us who are not in agreement with AIPAC's policies, it puts us in danger of having our Congress that we vote for vote the way that AIPAC wants them to vote. So we're out there doing the extent we can, getting as much publicity as we can to show that not everybody agrees with AIPAC's policies. Now, would you like me to talk briefly about the AIPAC policies that we had the most problem with?
Yes, please.
Okay. AIPAC is, of course, a primary supporter of all things Israel. But AIPAC, a whole lot of Israeli people who are primarily Jewish at this point, a whole lot of them do not approve of the Netanyahu policies, which are very saber-rattling, huge investment, a lot of the money coming from American Jewish element to support the settlements, which are taking over Palestinian land and putting walls around Palestinian land and building roads through Palestinian land to get to the settlements, and those roads are not accessed and not allowed to be accessed by anybody but those settlers and people going to and from the settlers. They're taking over. Of course, the Israeli capital is in Tel Aviv right now, but Netanyahu is very open about their moving it to Jerusalem, which is a city of religious significance for all religions. The people who live in Jerusalem of Arab background are really strongly discriminated against. And I don't mean that all Israeli citizens are in approval of this, but because they are on the streets and they are protesting, but it is not anywhere near enough to change policy, and there aren't people standing up to be elected to Israeli politics, evidently, that are appealing enough to have them overturn this policy. So we support Palestinian human rights and the right to have their own land and their own security at night and not have to go through 10 checkpoints to get to work in the morning, and being able to get to a hospital when especially if they're women in labor. I mean, there's a very, very long list of human rights horrible actions against the Palestinians, and so the whole reason for AIPAC, as I see it, is to moderate the AIPAC position, to let people know that that we're not rolling over on the statements about Israeli sovereignty. We try to bring attention to the fact that Israel has probably at this point 400 nuclear armaments bombs, and they are not part of the organization that the Middle East organization that controls nuclear power in the Middle East. They have not joined.